Welcome in, everyone. My name is Peng. So if you found this through my channel, you already know who I am. But if you don't know who I am a content creator for Pokemon Go PvP. And today I'm going to do a short tutorial on how to use the new grassroots tournament format platform Dracoviz.gg. And so some of my friends made this website. I personally have no involvement with the website, but I told them that I'm going to give a run through on how to use the website for those that are curious, because as those have been around for a while, Sylph used to be the main tournament format, Sylph.gg, but it has shut down in recent months, and this looks like a promising new development. So I'm going to show you all how to use this website, both as a user and as a host of potential future tournaments, so that you can personally utilize it for your own needs, whether you want to get some practice in, play some fun metas, or host any for your communities/friends. The website is completely free to use. There's no ads as well, which is kind of nice. And I'm going to start off by showing you all how to utilize the website if you're completely brand new to it. So you're on this main page. You're going to click sign in with Google. And I'm not going to show my credentials. I'm going to show a bunch of my emails, but I'm going to just utilize email that I haven't signed anything on yet. Personally, I use the Google login as an option. And right here, you can see this is my now profile page. And so you can see player, bunch of numbers, a rising legend. These are things you can change. So I could change my trainer name. So let's say this is me. Then let's say my trainer name is Peng. Obviously no space. And then you type in a friend code. I believe for this section, you don't want to put any spaces. So keep it without spaces. And then here you can edit your bio. You can say, I am creating a tutorial. That's just my bio for now. And then I could add in my Discord. Let's just say it's Caleb for now. And then if you have a Telegram, you can put that information in as well. So allows you to kind of have different lines of communication if you're hosting the tournament through Telegram or Discord. Player not found. Okay, so I think the reason why player was not found is because I already have my own profile. So I'm going to create a different one with because Caleb Peng's already taken on my main account. I don't have any active tournaments or concluded tournaments, but this will be this is what's going to show up if you are in any. So let's join a pretend tournament just to see what that looks like. You can see these are some open tournaments to the whole public. So this is kind of cool. You can see this is a big bracket test. This is a test tournament. I join, and once I join in, you can see this is I'll be in the tournament. If you scroll down, you see Caleb Peng 2. And from here, you can edit your Pokemon. You can view my profile. So this is what it is. Certain friend codes, stuff like that. And then you can edit your register your team. And so here, you can type in your Pokemon. Let's say this is an Open Great League tournament, right? And we want to run a Zermero. And our CP is this. I don't know what my HP is, but I'll just throw that in here. And then they have all the preloaded potential movesets you can run. And so I'll just pick random stuff for now. There's also shadow variants as well, so also very nice. And once you have all 6 of your team with the HP and CP and all the moves, you press save team. And there you go. You have your team. One of my Pokemon has an invalid moveset. That's interesting. So let's see what we made there. Okay, right here. That's perfect. I actually picked 2 of the same exact move, so I can't run 2 Earth Power on the same Aerodactyl. And you can see another one. Oh yeah, okay, so right here, they pull out all the potential errors you have on your team. Nice little prompt. Obviously, you should always double check your own team if possible. That being said, it shows the runtime of the tournament, so it's a Swiss bracket style, and the round has not started yet. And here you can see all the different other players. You can all click on view tournament information as well. And you can see this is a test, obviously, tournament. 128 max participants, team size. You can only have 1 team, etc. And then 1 team per match. And then from here, you can even share the tournament page if you want. So let's say if I'm the host, I can copy and paste this, and I could share it to other people as a way to promote it. Either if I'm a host or not a host. I can also leave a tournament. So this is how you leave, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, and I am now completely out of tournament. let me show you all a different tournament I could join. So for this purposes, it's not just a single free-for-all tournament like typical ones, but I can even join this one. So it's a test tournament that one of my friends created for me, and you can see here it just says a deep silly team tournament. For this one, it is actually a team format, so I could join this, and it requires probably teams of let's just see how many. So there's a team tournament. Would you like to captain a new team? So let's say I'm not a part of a team yet. I'm going to create a team. Let's say my team is called Cool Cats, and then I join the tournament. And from here, you can see here, I could share this team code with my teammates. And so that way I can send it to my teammates so that so when they get to this link, they can actually join the team rather than invite players to the team. You can see that I copy and this is perfect actually. So I not only copy the link, but it also has my team code already linked in. So that's actually perfect. And I believe that'll just add them straight to it. And I can manage my roster. Of course, there's no one on my roster besides myself. Okay, yeah, and we can select the different slots. So I can say, I'm going to be playing the Great League slot, and etc. So let's just save that for now. Obviously, depending on how big the team tournament you want, you can have multiple slots. So this is really great because you can not only play 1v1 matches and host 1v1 tournaments, or free-for-all tournaments, I should say, but also you can host team formats on this, which is really, really nice. And of course, same thing, you can edit your Pokemon, do all the stuff. So let's go back here. And for the most part, and you can see the bracket too, right? So this is nice. There's no tournament yet, so we won't see that. Round length, that was not specified yet, but that's where you will see the bracket of who you're going against, other teams you're going against, etc. Now that we've seen how to utilize your personal page, and you can see these are active tournaments, right? So this is one I joined, the other one I left. Obviously, this is where it be concluded. How do you create a tournament? So let's create a tournament, and I have the privilege to host tournaments here. And this is really cool. So let's say I want to create a tournament. I'll just say Caleb's Tournaments. Tournament description. This is the description. And I can have a server link. So my Discord link. Let's just say that. Round length time. So this shows if it's a live tournament, how many minutes you want per round before you move it forward. And so it could be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, etc. But maybe you're hosting an international tournament or just a longer round tournament. So you can say 24 hours. You have 1 day to coordinate with your opponent to do the battle, 2 days, 3 days, etc. Even up to a week. It's kind of a long one, but potentially could happen. So let's just say we're hosting a 2-day tournament and we can host a bracket. Right now, they only have support for a Swiss bracket, but if you don't have a Swiss bracket, you can also use a bracket link. So let's say if you don't want to do Swiss, you want to do single elimination, double elimination, use on challenge, matcherino, etc., you can paste the bracket link here so that those watching in your tournament can actually access the tournament bracket link if you don't want to use the Swiss format. In the future, I'm informed by the Dracoviz developers that they will have other types of formats, probably double elimination, single elimination, round robins, stuff like that. But at the moment in time of the recording of this video, they just have Swiss bracket. So let's assume it's Swiss, and then you can say number of games per round. What this means is how many battles per round players are playing. Is it best of 1, best of 5, best of 3? So let's say for standard purposes, best of 3. How many points are awarded for a bye? This is important for maybe tiebreakers, right? Whoever has the most amount of wins at the end can, if there's a multi-way tie, especially in Swiss, which is more common than not, then that can happen. So how much points do you want to award for a bye? Do you want to award 1 point, 2 points, or 3 points? And so that's up to the host. I'm going to say 2 points. And then require players to play all matches. What this means is if you're going against you and your opponents, let's say it's a best of 3 and my opponent wins 2-0 against me. Do they have to play the third match or not? And sometimes as a host, you might want them to because they could play into a role of tiebreakers. Sometimes you might not. It doesn't matter, right? Especially in the official tournament circuit, you don't really get anything for getting more points and winning more time. So once the best of 3 is done, once someone's ranked 1 twice, you don't have to play a third game. But sometimes like in the Swiss tournaments, for like especially old school Silph or other grassroots tournaments, each point may matter. So let's say we require players to play all matches. That means they have to play all 3, even if the outcomes already conclude after 2 games. If it was best of 5, then you would require all of them to play all 5 games rather than just whoever gets the 3 points first. That's what that one means. Require both players to report their score. So that might be important because you want to make sure that the scores are matched up on both ends. Is this a private tournament? So this is important because if it's a private tournament, then that won't show up on the public page. If it's not a private tournament, it will show up on the public page. So for this purposes, let's just keep it public so that we can see the tournament populate afterward. Max teams. So how many players you can have? You can have a minimum of 3, maximum 300 at the moment. Let's just say we can have a total of 128. CP registration. Do you require the players to register their combat power now for their Pokemon? You can say not required. You can say only visible to hosts, or you can say visible to all players. And so this may be important for a number of reasons, especially if those played the old grassroots tournament formats of factions. For those team formats, you didn't actually need to require your combat power because sometimes you allowed your players to change their Pokemon's movesets in between battles and after teams are revealed. So let's say you have 2 Cresselia, one with Grass Knot, one without. You can use either one without having to burn Elite TM if you need the Grass Knot. Whereas some other tournaments like, single player tournaments, free-for-alls, you might require them to register their combat power because they're not allowed to change their movesets in between. So there's really no reason for them not to have the combat power visible to all players at all times. So for this purposes, let's just say we're going to make it visible to all players. HP visibility, not required, only visible to hosts or visible to all players. Now, especially in the grassroots days and even now in the official tournament circuit, you don't need to reveal HP. However, you can, especially as host, if you want to make sure that there's no shenanigans and the players are using the Pokemon they said they were, or it's powered up exactly how they said it was going to be powered up. Another thing to note is that upcoming in November on the official championship circuit of 2023, all HP values will be revealed when you play in the official tournaments. So as a way to kind of practice this and simulate the real life tournament formats, you might say visible to all players is an important thing. So for all intents and purposes, for preparation for future tournaments, let's just say visible to all players for this tournament. Moveset registration, again, not required, only visible to hosts or visible players. Only visible hosts, meaning if you're the host of the tournament. This might be an important one, especially if you are organizing a tournament and making sure that everyone's playing like they should and they're not switching movesets in between. You have a way to check that. Visible to all players, again, a great way to practice the upcoming tournament format changes for the official tournament circuit, where you can see all moveset changes on the official tournament circuit. I know in APAC, a lot of the regions, they already had moveset registration revealed, so they had open team sheets essentially. So for some regions, it's already a thing. So let's just say visible to all players for this tournament. Draft mode, this is an important one. No draft, team draft, or global draft. For global draft, it means that it's essentially a free-for-all tournament, single player, but it's a draft format so that no players can have duplicating Pokemon. I can't draft an Aerodactyl if someone else... I can't have an Aerodactyl on my team if someone else already does, vice versa. And so for those that like to host draft tournaments for the communities, it's a great way to ensure that no one registers the same Pokemon accidentally. For the actual drafting phase of the tournaments, that is currently not built into Dracoviz.gg, but you're still able to import all of the Pokemon you drafted essentially when the players register. Team draft essentially means if you're in one of those team formats, it ensures that no one on your current team has the same exact Pokemon. Same deal as global draft, except it just ensures no duplicates on a team. Again, great for if you're hosting team formats and you want to do a team draft style. So for this one, we're just going to do free-for-all, single player, no draft. And then the meta. And you can specify this team tournament now. So this is important. So do you want to do the team tournament or not? In the test one I did, that was team tournament. So what this says is max team size, including alternates, up to 20 players. Means that you can have up to 20 different people on your roster included. So once you have, depending on how many you want to do, let's just say for our purposes, we'll do 13. Team size during the match. So max of 10, which means that you could only at max host tournaments where there's 10 versus 10 on each team. So for this one, we'll just say 10. But we could do 5, we could do 4, etc. And you can have up to 10 alternates if you have 10 active players. or you can have 4 active players to have 16 alternates, however you want to host it. So we're not going to do team tournament for this one, but that is what it is. This one, do you want to enable multiple metas for this tournament? That's actually really important too. So let's just say this is 5, and then you could do meta 1 is this. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is important, right? So this is why team size during match is important. So let's say 10, it allows 10 for different metas. As you can set different metas, so let's say it's essentially like old school factions, right? Where you have different metas. You have someone Great League, Ultra League, Master League, other type of restricted metas, maybe 2 people in this Flash Dojo Cup, 2 people in the Spice Cup Remix, etc. So this is a really great way essentially to host team formats right off the bat, which is really cool because I know that's a very big part of grassroots Sylph. So again, we're not going to do a team formats, but that is an option. Now, so this is going to be a single player format, and you can select a meta. You can do Open Great League, great for the official play Pokemon circuit, Ultra League, Master League, and then you could do limited cups. Obviously, these are limited cups that you're like, wait, how do you get on this list? Great question. So to get on this list, definitely make sure you join the Dracoviz official Discord server, and from there, especially if you're a host of a tournament or a future host, you can contact the developers, and there's a couple developers for Dracoviz.gg, and you can ask them, hey, I have a specific meta I would like to include, can you make this happen? And so let's say meta, like say Halloween Cup, right? You can only have poison Pokemon, dark Pokemon, ghost Pokemon, etc. What they'll do is set it up so that only certain Pokemon are allowed to be picked in that specific meta. Others are just not even going to be options. So that way people won't accidentally register something that they shouldn't register. And on top of that, it just, it just looks really clean. And so you could do that for all the different metas. Hide teams from host before registration completes. I would highly recommend this one in particular, especially if you're going to play in the tournament. If you're not going to play in the tournament, maybe not as necessary. So what this means is if you're hosting a tournament, you might want to play in it too. So maybe you're hosting a practice Great League tournament, but you want to play with your friends as well. But someone needs to host it, so you're going to be the host for it, but you're also going to be able to play. So if you check this allows it. So this makes it so that the host of the tournament cannot see the potential teams of other people while they're registering before the tournament is live. So it just makes sure that everything's on even footing. We're going to create this tournament real quick, and server invite link not valid to a website. Okay, let me actually just paste the actual Dracoviz server, and we'll create that. This is just a temporary site. I'll link the official tournament Discord for Dracoviz underneath afterward. So nice. So they actually make it so that it has to be official link. It can't just be some random typed in stuff. And now we have Caleb's tournament. Round length 48 hours to 2 days. You can see it's a Swiss bracket. Rounds have not started yet. And you can see that I actually cannot register. This is a very important thing to know. At the moment in time for Dracoviz.gg, if you're hosting a tournament, you cannot join it on the same account. But what you can do is copy the tournament link, right? And then join it yourself, and then join in with a different account. So I'm using this on one of my emails, but like I said, this is an account I just made just now. It says Caleb Peng 2. I did this for a reason because I have a Caleb Peng 1, or my main Caleb Peng account, and this could be my host account, and then my main account I can join in on the tournament if I want to play as well. Now that you know how to register for tournaments and host tournaments, let's see what an active tournament looks like. So this is an example tournament from BTW. It's a Nimbus Cup, so their own specific meta. And you can see there's a number of players actively playing. So this is a real tournament that's happening currently. And you can see that there's, I believe, 26 active players in this tournament. And you can see they're moving through rounds. It looks like rounds are 3 battles per round. And you can see they require you to play all 3 rounds if you've already won the first 2. And these are still battles in progress. And then here you can actually see the different teams that people are using, as well as their wins and losses. Click view profile. It'll show the player's friend code as well. I'm not going to click it right now because I don't really want to show someone's friend code on this video, but that is how you'll be able to find people's friend code if you're actively in a tournament to add them. Here's a cool feature as well that I just noticed is you can search for your opponent. So let's say if you don't want to scroll through all 26 or 100 plus players, you can search, and right here, not even the starting letters, you can just search any letters in their name. BTW Dino is in this tournament, and you can see the team he's running. And while you're looking at the teams, you can even see the wins and losses of all the specific players in it. So you can see 8 total battle wins, 3 round wins. So 0 round losses, obviously, because ZT Smith is currently undefeated with only 1 lost battle. For the most part, pretty friendly to use. You have different language settings as well. Right now, we have English, Spanish, and Japanese, but I think they might add in some more different options down the road. And of course, if you're curious, if you want to follow Dracoviz, you can go to their Twitter and you can see all this stuff. It shows their actual thing where they have their graphics and all that stuff. And then, oh, perfect. So I'm going to link their Discord, but if you go to dracoviz.gg, it'll also bring them to their Discord and you can join from there. And then one other thing, highly recommend if you have the chance to, this is their Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi essentially is a way to support them. You don't have to donate. Again, I said it's a free website, and it, for as far as I know, will stay a free website, but you can make one-time donations or monthly donations as well. If you love the website, you want to make sure that the people behind Dracoviz still have funds to continue running this for free for everyone. I think it's a great platform that you can help support. So if you have the funds to and you would like to, you can support. But of course, no pressure on that, not required by any means. And that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, but I'm sure that the developers at Dracoviz will also take a look at the comments and they can answer any questions as well. Hopefully, this will be a great platform that a lot of people can use. I personally wouldn't make this video if I didn't believe in the ability for it to work well. That's dracoviz.gg. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. Hopefully you all are able to utilize this website for any needs you may have, whether as a host, as a player. From my understanding, talking to developers, they're not trying to turn this into self.gg. They're not trying to host their own metas or their own team formats. They are simply creating a platform for other organizations and hosts and players to do their own thing. Thank you all for watching. Highly recommend you check out their website if you have the chance, and make sure to give Dracoviz a follow on all their socials.